Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to come and share the word with you today. For those who've never seen me before, my name is Alita, and I basically come on here and I share prophetic words that the Lord gives me through dreams. And guys, I'm so excited because I'm using my brother-in-law's camera. Like, he's a videographer. He went to school for all of this stuff, like production and stuff. So he kind of borrowed me his camera, and I'm just so excited. I'm like, yee, proper camera. So, but don't get used to this, guys, because like it's not going to be an everyday thing, but I thought I'd use it anyway for today's video. He borrowed it to me for something else. Anyway, let's get back on track. I'm just so excited to be using a new camera. Anyway, so as always, disclaimer before I get into the word, before I share the dream, please guys remember that not every prophetic word is meant for everyone. It's very important that you take it before the Lord if you believe it's meant for you, and that you get confirmation from him, because that is so important. It also allows you the opportunity to get closer with him, to learn how to hear his voice, for those who are struggling with that. And on the other hand, some of you, this word may already resonate with you. It may be something that the Lord has already spoken to you about, and this is just a confirmation, which is even better. That is a good position to be in. I still encourage you, however, to go and pray and ask him any questions that you may have. Ask him for specific strategic instruction with regards to your part in the whole thing. It also again allows you that opportunity to get closer to him and to learn how to hear his voice, because the most important thing is relationship with him. So without much more delay, let's get into the dream. I don't want to make this video too long because I can ramble. Anyway, so the dream, guys, I had this dream on, when did I have this dream? On September 2nd, 2020. So it's been a while since I had this dream. And in this particular dream, I remember that I had just received a new house. It was like my new house, but it was in a complex, like this apartment, no, not even an apartment complex. It was in a complex that had many houses, but this was like the affluent people. This was for the wealthy, guys. This was not some place that you could just easily get a house in. And so I had this house, and I remember being there with certain members of my family, just random members. Actually, that wasn't the important thing for me to focus on in this dream, but there were members of my family. And being in this complex, I remember that there was this sense in the dream that it had to, I don't even know how to describe this, but I'm just going to say it as best as I can. So it was like some of the people represented certain nations or a certain particular nation, and it's not a nation that is one of the top nations. It's a third world country, let's put it that way. And there was this general sense or this feeling that they can't handle the cleaning process. They can't handle keeping the place clean and stuff like that, the complex clean and looking its best. And so they felt the need that they had to show their brooms and stuff. So they put them on display so that the other people could see them. And these other people, the really affluent, rich ones, also representing different nations, were they were not very confident that this third world nation could handle it, and they were actually very hostile towards them. They were not exactly friendly with them. And then I remember seeing this little girl who was part of the wealthy and the affluent nations, and she just had this like such a deep contempt and such a deep dislike of what was happening, seeing someone like me moving into a complex like that, like you don't belong here type of situation. And she looked like she just wanted to create havoc for me. And there was also a woman who was sweeping, also part of the affluent, rich, wealthy class, if I can put it that way. And she was sweeping, but it was a lot of dirt. It was dirt, like just sand, brown sand. But the point was that it was dirt, right? And she was sweeping it towards other people's houses, specifically the third world people nation, and just also towards towards other houses that she considered not good enough for the place. And I remember just saying to her, that's not right. Like, why would you do that? Like, can you just manage your dirt and not, push it to other people's houses? Then I remember getting a set of keys. It was a large set of keys. It was like on a lanyard, and there were many keys, and it was as if this was the key. There was a key to my house, getting into the house, and all the other rooms in the house. And that was pretty much the dream. That was such an interesting dream for me. I remember having this dream and just wondering what the Lord was trying to tell me, and then I forgot about it, and he brought me back to it today. So what is the Lord trying to tell us? I'm going to read my notes because I was very specific in writing down these notes. There are a few points, and there's probably one or two layers to this dream. And the first thing that the Lord wants us to understand is that he's doing something with the nations. He's changing things. He's changing things for the good of everyone. He doesn't want it to be that one nation excels over another, or one group of people excels over another, which has been the case for a long time. Is that, there's just certain circles that you can't get into. They're exclusive, they're the wealthy, and it's got nothing to do with race. It's just a certain level of people who are of all races. And when I say there's levels to this dream, it could be on a global scale, and there's definitely a global scale element. That's the main focus of the dream, but it's also on other levels. So you need to seek the Lord on which direction he's sending you, or where he's placing you. But for the majority of those who this word is for, he's going to place you in positions. He's going to open doors for you to enter into domains that were previously closed off to you and to many people. And these domains obviously include certain people who have all this wealth and this influence in this world, and they only have that wealth and that influence because they acquired it by dubious means. They didn't acquire this in an honest way. And God is wanting, a reconciliation of sorts, like always bringing it full circle. Like, you can't get away with wrongdoing for the rest of your life, forever, or for generations, because a lot of this is generational stuff. These things were established generations and generations ago, and were passed down within various circles and families, if you get my meaning. So the Lord is saying that some of you are being given huge responsibilities in terms of influencing the nations. This calling is on a worldwide scale, and you are going to impact nations. This is for some of you. Again, you're going to be sent into domains that you could not enter before, exclusive, set aside for certain people with certain ranks and positions and wealth that were attained by dubious means. You're going to be doing this in groups. It's not an individual effort. God is not going to send you out there as a sheep amongst wolves alone. This is a group effort. This, me being with my family, just random members of my family, shows that you're not going to be one man. You're going to go, or one woman. I know the saying is like one man, but one woman as well matters. So you are going to be going in, you are going to be, you're not going to be alone. God is going to partner you with certain people. It's going to be a group effort. And this group effort is going to represent a larger group, the remnant, the believers, that kind of situation. What else did I write here? So with regards to the third world country being represented by some people who had just also moved into the complex, it seemed, and they put out their brews and stuff to show that they can handle the upkeep of the place. God is saying that, what did I write? I want to make sure I say the right thing. Okay, so it's almost like there's this perception, and it's related to things like the pandemic and many other things that will come up. A lot of nations are looked upon as though they cannot handle certain things, that they won't be able to deal with a global pandemic, with an economic crash and all those things. And it's almost like the more well put together hierarchies are looking at them like, you can't handle this. And also at the same time, in order to justify them saying that or having that view, they are pushing a lot of dirt towards those nations. They are corrupting. There's always been corruption, but they're going to bring about more corruption, more deception, more just more dirt, just making it look like a bad situation when it really isn't. It's just certain strategic moves that people are making in high-ranking roles, high-ranking positions. These people are making certain decisions to push some dirt towards certain nations around the world. And God is appointing you in your group efforts to almost call these things out, to be the voice that says, no, but what you're doing is not right. You are contaminating, you are creating all of this deception and all these lies. You are bringing about just, division and all of those things, and making it seem like certain nations or certain people cannot deal with a pandemic and all of that. Almost, guys, there's so much that I want to say, and I'm trying not to say it because I don't want to go off on a tangent on stuff that, I sense very strongly about what's happening in the world today. Just, I don't watch the news. I don't at all. Like, I just avoid it like the plague. But my dad watches the news, and he's always watching the news. So when I walk past the living room and he's watching the news, I see certain headlines, and immediately as I read them, I'm just like, I can see right through what is going on in those situations. So I don't want to go off on that tangent. But the main point to understand is that our job is going to be to be able to call stuff out and say, but wait a minute, why are you saying this? Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to corrupt? Why are you, just really just asking the right questions. This is not about fighting. This is not about bringing division. This is about going in to these situations because God is going to open the doors for you. He's giving you an entire house. He's setting you up in these places, and he wants you to go in with the right attitude. You're not going in to fight or to create chaos. You are going in with the character of Christ. You're going in with humility. You're going in with just a quiet spirit and a gentle demeanor. You're not going to come in with like guns blazing, like all activist like I'm here to fight the system or whatever. It's not about fighting a system. It's about, so if you look at it from a positive perspective, it's about bringing something good. It's about questioning what there currently is, what's currently happening, and bringing in solutions for God's kingdom, if that makes sense. Now, moving on to the next point. Sorry, I just want to make sure I wrote the right thing here. Okay, I'm just going to read what I wrote. So God doesn't want the nations to be divided. That is such a key thing. The difference between the one world order and God's order is that God's order is a message of unity. The one world order is a message of everything is fine, everything is acceptable, let's just all put it together and make it all work. Let's just all tolerate everything and do everything. I think Paul said it. He said, I can do anything I want. I can do anything that I feel like doing, but it doesn't mean that it's good for me. It doesn't mean that it's right for me. That's why we have free will. God doesn't stop us from doing these things. But when you understand that what those things actually do to you, what they mean for yourself and for others, because it's never just about us. Everything we do has an impact on others. Everything. We may think that I'm doing this behind closed doors in the dark, still has an impact on somebody. A very key thing with this point is that God is looking for unity. He's looking to establish unity in the world, his unity. And the reason for this, so the one world order allows everything to be, meshed together. I think they call it, from a religious perspective, in terms of bringing all the religions together, I think it's called ecumenism, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look that up. But also everything else, all the things that are good and not good all brought together, darkness and light, black and white. So what we need to understand is that God is trying to protect us. It's not about control, it's about love. He loves us, and he knows that if we live that kind of life where everything is just meshed together as one and we can do whatever we want as long as everyone tolerates each other and it's all, you know, we're all one big happy family, it sounds good, doesn't it? But it's not. There's so much that allows the enemy to come in. It allows the enemy to come in and do what he wants. He just wants gateways, doorways, cracks, whatever he can find to get in. And God, the ultimate parent, he is the parent of all parents. And his job is to protect us. He does these things in love, not to control us, but to protect us. Just like any parent wouldn't just let their child do whatever they want all the time with no discipline, no rules, no just guidance. That doesn't make sense. You're just being a negligent parent. You're not loving your child. If you love your child, you're going to help them, you're going to guide them, you're going to protect them, you're going to show them the way. And that's what God is saying when he says, you know, everything is allowed. You can do anything, let me put it that way, but not everything is good for you. Not everything is fruitful. Not everything, I mean, you are just opening up the doors for the enemy to come in and wreak havoc in your life in this world. And that's what's been happening for so long. And God is coming to re-establish something new. It's not even something new. We're calling it a new thing because we don't know what it was like. But when he first established this earth, when he first made Adam and Eve, that is a state that he's bringing us back to. Just complete purity, no division, and, you know, his kingdom established here on earth. Hope I'm making sense. So, to end off the point, God has a plan for the world. He has a plan for planet Earth. He has a plan for all of us. And you're one of his soldiers. You are one of his soldiers, and he's going to put you out there. It's not going to be a friendly situation. You are going to have face friction. You're going to face some pushback. That little girl in the dream who was adamant and determined to make my life difficult and looking at me like, how dare you? Who do you think you are? Why do you shouldn't be here? You're going to face stuff like that. But God is protecting you. He's sending you there. He's not going to send you there and just leave you. You know, he's going to make sure that you are protected. Just walk in faith, be obedient, and he'll take care of everything. I'm just going to read Isaiah 2 verse 2 to 4 before I end this video. And it says, in the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house will be the highest of all, the most important place on earth. Amen. It will be raised above the other hills, and people from all over the world will stream there to worship. People from many nations will come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Jacob's God. There he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Lord's teaching will go out from Zion. His word will go out from Jerusalem. The Lord will mediate. I almost said meditate. The Lord will mediate between nations. I love this. He's going to mediate between nations. He's not trying to bring division. And he will settle international disputes. Jesus, wow, I love the scripture. They will hammer their swords with plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will no longer fight against nation, nor train for war anymore. That is the goal. That is the goal. That is the unity that the Lord wants to establish here on earth. Friends, I pray that this word has blessed you. I'm excited for what's coming. Again, it's not going to be smooth sailing. Expect friction, but know that God is with you. He's sending us out there, and we just need to be obedient and do what he's telling us to do in love, with lots of grace, lots of mercy for people. Like just the way he's treated us in our walk, just the way he's been with us throughout our healing process, our wilderness experience. That's the way we should be with people. We need to be transformed by the renewing of our minds and be like Christ. Gentle. What's the scripture? Gentle as a dove, shrewd as a snake. I think something like that. Anyway, guys, I love you. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for all your support. Thank you guys for just the way you are always there for me. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I wanted to say that's important. yeah, that's all. Guys, remember that you serve such a wonderful, wonderful, loving Father, and you, my friend, are so special to Him.